Hey guys, Mike Martin here. So just a little bit of training today. So what I want to do today is show you how to create it's kind of a full technical audit of your website, which is going to cost you nothing to do. So over at moreleadslocal.com, you can click a button and you can get an SEO audit of your website. Now there's a special URL trick you can use that will enable you to do keywords, which I will share in another video. However, for this one today, I'm going to show you a free piece of software that you can download to your computer that is going to basically do a full audit of up to a 500-page website and enable you to then go through easily and quickly and do a full SEO audit of your website. Now, the site we're looking at here, I haven't yet even run through the auditor, okay? Prime Fencing. We use it as a testing website. So this is not a website that we expect to rank. This is not a website we're building to rank. This is a website that we have set up. We changed the databases. We put crazy content inside it. So I will just quickly show you. I don't spin content ever on any website I'm trying to rank, but on this website there's a lot of spun content. There's a lot of things inside of spin text headers. The content itself is added into it's not something we're expecting to rank. However, for the purposes of this video, it's the perfect website for me to actually run through. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into, I think it's screamingfrog.co.uk or screamingfrog.com. I'm assuming they have in the States. And then what you're going to do is you're going to download this free tool. Okay, so I don't know where you go to download it. You'd have to go and find that. There you go, download. SEO Spider, download. Depends whether you're on a Mac, Silicon, normal Mac, or a Windows computer. Get it downloaded. Obviously, I've already downloaded it. I have the premium version, so I can do more than 500 pages. But it does up to 500 pages. Most websites are under 500 pages. The only reason I've got the premium version is some large client websites will need to do this on a huge scale, and it'll take us weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of work. But for this video, this is absolutely fine. Alright, so what the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over and you're going to grab this. Okay, so this is a technical audit. So you can go in as deep as you want with this. You can spend as many hours as you want looking at this. But the first thing we want to do is put that in there, and then we just want to click start. Now what this is doing, it's going to the homepage of your website. It crawls your homepage of your website, then it crawls all of your internal pages of your website, and it's going to pull back all of the pages. So it's going to literally go through and say, right, I found page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So you can see if I click HTML, you'll see these are the actual pages it's pulling back. So we've got Prime Fencing, quotes 139, quotes Chester, quotes Birkenhead, Burnley, and so on and so forth. Okay, and this will keep. And I think that there is, with our software, it's called Magic Page Plugin. That'll be the magic page. What we should do is right click. That should actually be a 301 redirect to the central location, so that the central location and that page are not duplicate content. But that's for another video. Anyway, guys, so now we've gone through and we've done this SEO audit. Yes. So we've got all these pages, and what we're interested in are problems with this website. This website, I have no doubt whatsoever, will have tons and tons and tons of problems in there. How do we figure out what those problems are? Now, this is not one from a content perspective. If you want to do an on-page content audit, you need to go over to More Leads Local and run an audit of your website. They're a free audit of your website, and I will put in the content down the bottom underneath this video. If you're on the page mikeseo.com, I will put in an example URL structure to show you how to actually use that website after you've done your first audit, so that you can implement keywords and change the pages and that on the website that you've done. Okay, so we're in here. First thing we're going to do, very simple, very quick, very easy. You're going to click on issues. Okay, so I can see from this website that we've got a few issues. Okay, it's actually nowhere near as bad as I expected it to be. Nowhere near as bad as I expected it to be. So what I want to do first is I want to put these things in order. Okay, so what I want is you click this a few times. If for some reason it goes like that, then it goes all over the show, and it goes back up. But you want the high ones at the top first, yeah? So canonicalize. So this is basically telling me 105 pages, okay? Canonicals, right? If you don't know how to do canonicals, what we will do is we'll right click this page, we'll click open in the browser. Okay, so it's telling me there's a canonical problem. Now, if you don't know what a canonical URL is, basically, let's say you've got a www version of your website, and then you've got a non-www version of your website. Okay, in that situation, you want to set a specific canonical that's the same as the one that's loading when you put your website up on the internet. So if your non-www redirects to your www or your www redirects to your non-www, then your canonical URL needs to match the one that it redirects to, because then what Google's going to do is going to give all the power to the page that the initial redirect goes to. Hope that makes sense. So free tool here, it's called, oops, let's pull it up first so you can see it. It's called, why is it not letting me show you? One sec, guys. On there it says Detailed SEO Extension. It's a Google Chrome extension, completely free of charge, never cost you anything. Like I've got other ones here like Ahrefs, but this is ridiculously expensive. This one's free over here, but for this example we're going to use this Detailed. That one's SEO Quake Toolbar, which is also pretty good for free. So you're going to click on there. Now, we're not interested in any of this stuff, right? Don't let this drag you into, okay, a war, all right? Don't let this drag you into a war. What we're interested in doing is fixing the problem it shows us, because if these are an issue, let me go back and show you, right? Multiple conflicting, right? Canonicals, multiple conflicting canonicals. So what this means is, canonicals, it's not canonicalized. What this means is multiple conflicting canonicals. So if I go to the canonical URL, I can see that this URL is /quotes/berry, but the canonical URL is /quotes/139. That tells me that Magic Page plugin isn't working correctly with whatever SEO plugin we're using for the canonical URL. So if we've got an SEO plugin in here, we've got all-in-one SEO on this website, okay? Don't know if it's the pro version or not. Might be, might not, doesn't matter. But the all-in-one SEO plugin isn't playing nice with Magic Page plugin, because Magic Page plugin has its own, if we click edit, in fact we can do it on any page, but we'll just do it on the Magic Page now we're here. If we click edit on the Magic Page, you can scroll to the bottom and you'll see you've got your own, right, so there's the on-page SEO section, the all-in-one on-page SEO section. I know from experience we can't turn off the canonical with Magic Page plugin, with all-in-one SEO, which is a pain in the backside. But as you can see here, that one there also sets it for Magic Page. That I'm pretty sure isn't going to fix it. Okay, I'm pretty sure that isn't going to fix it. The way I would have to do this on this occasion, which is kind of a bit beyond the video because you don't need to know how I would technically fix this website, but what I would do is I would go to the Magic Page, I would scroll down here, I would look for, why has it gone? It's been a while. Export to posts and pages. So what I would do is I would basically build out a group, and there's videos on here and on keithbest.com which will show you how to export to posts and pages, which basically means you can then turn these into real pages, which means then the canonical URL will be set on an individual website basis, which makes it much easier for you to just literally go in and edit your canonical URL on a global. But if you edit your canonical URL here, it's not going to work because it's going to have the location shortcode in it once you edit it, so it's pointless trying to edit it basically. On this occasion it's a demo site, so I'm not going to show you exactly how I would fix that. Right, so these three are our high priority. These are the ones that's like, okay, you need to fix this shit, because what you're doing is you're passing all your canonical power of all of your web pages to this ridiculous page over, let me show you it again. In fact, the best way to do it is just go over here, right click, open in browser. We've got the page, then we're going to go click on the D, and as you can see we've got, so it's passing all the power to this. Okay, if I was going to fix this and there isn't a way of doing it with this website, what I would do is I'd go in and I would actually change all of my canonical URL. I'm not saying this will work or won't work, but in my opinion this would work better than anything else. Because these two are conflicting, they can't be fixed. You go into the code and fix it, you can fix it and have them all canonicalized to their own URL. So this one's a www, not the non-W. On this, I would go in and I'd change it to at least so it's canonicalized to the home page if I was trapped, and then figure out a way around it. But the proper way to fix it is have canonical pointing to the same canonical, and that way that works. Second thing we do is come back in. Okay, look at this, H1's missing. So this is now going to say, okay, you've got some H1 tags missing. So if I go into open the browser, okay, same D tool, okay, free D tool, free fucking screaming frog tool. Sorry for swearing, it's how I speak. Right, we go into here and we're going to click on the heading, and what we see, which is crazy, is that we don't have a H2 on the page, or a H1 on the page. So everything's H2, H2, H333, H2, H2, H4, H2. The page is structured terribly. Okay, now when you look at something like this, we're going to say, okay, so what is this? The keyword for this page will be fencing, because we want to try and get it in the URL, quotes, sale. Okay, so what we'd want to do to fix that is we'd want to go in to edit the page. We'd want to convert one of the H2s, the highest one up the page, and the reason we're going to do it the highest one up the page is very simply that if you do it further down the page, the hierarchy is not correct. A lot of people say you can't have more than one H1 on the page, but I'm under the impression that you can. So our right, so we'll turn this to a H1 first. Yep. Then we're going to get rid of that spin tax crap, and we're just going to type in fencing quotes, and I believe we're on magic page here, so we're going to go location. Okay, fencing quotes location. So I'm going to click update. Right now, if I go back to that page, in fact, let me just shut that down. It's easier to just go back over here, right click, open in browser. Tends to be what I do a lot with this. You get into the habit of doing that with this. Okay, right, so we've got fencing quotes sale. We've got in the URL fencing quotes sale. Right, so if now I go back over to here and I go scroll down the page and I click on the H tag, sorry, we've now, oh look at that, we've got H2 right above it, which is get a quote from this. So fencing quotes sale is absolutely fine. It shows it like that because of the way I wrote it. I would probably go in and edit that actually. So what I would probably do is edit with Elementor. I'll quickly do it while we're on, so that you can see what I would do, because I want the H1 at the top of the page. I don't want the H2 at the top of the page. I want the H1 to be the first thing that they hit. So what I'd probably do is first come in here, go into there, change that to paragraph text. I'd then come in here. I would keep the location, but I would rewrite these so that they're the same. I know it probably doesn't make a difference, but and you know they look like they're big text because that's how that's how this box has been set up, but we're not doing it right. And then I don't know how to do it on Elementor. I don't use it as often as I used to. There we go, you just click that view. Oh, let's get the correct URL up. I want to see the URL. Right, so now we're going to open in browser, and what you're going to see is, so we've just changed that so it's not a H2 anymore. We changed this to change this so it's a H1, and we put the actual page keyword. Now we want to make sure that keyword's going to be in our meta title as well. Okay, so but now anyway, this is a different thing. Now this one here, if I click right click and I click respider, see it disappear. Right, the reason it's disappeared is because what we've done is we've gone into here and we've changed the H tag, so it's now top of the page fencing quotes sale, and that's been put in at the top of the page. Okay, I'd also want to make sure I had that inside of my meta title. Okay, so I'd go in, I'd have a look at this, and I'd be like, right, what's the page? Right, so this is prime fencing sale. Okay, we don't want that. We're not interested in the name of the company. We want fencing quotes, and for some reason we've got loads of short codes in that's bringing the longitude, the latitude, and everything else. There's an on-page SEO tool that you can use for this that will do your on-page side of things. But I'm just kind of talking you through that whilst we're chatting. But if I now respider this, just let that go and have a play, do a respider, what you'll see is all of those issues are gone, because the way Magic Page Plugin works, you make a change on one page, it dynamically changes it across them all for you, and kind of systematically puts them all together. So that those H tag problems, sorry, those H1 problems now has been changed on every single page. I wouldn't go through and do that every time, because we're on a Magic Page site, it kind of makes things a lot easier. We've just got rid of like 100 and something errors in one go. So page title over 561 pixels. Okay, so this is the next one we're going to jump on if the H1 one's fixed. So we'll find that out. So I'm going to swig a coffee while we're waiting on this. So there was 100 odd because there's 100 odd pages being dynamically created via the Magic Page, which is absolutely brilliant, because what it enables us to do is build a 100 odd page website but only work on one, which is genius in my opinion. Wasn't me that created that, the thing that works around it. I used to copy paste edit the pages, copy paste edit. It was my business partner Martin Johnson, who is a very, very smart guy, come up with this crazy idea of how to dynamically create all the pages, and it just blew up. Right, so now we've got title, page titled over 561 pixels. So what we do, same process. Go in here, right click, open in browser. Okay, this time we're looking to change the page title. So the first thing we want to do, you don't always know where your page title is being served from. Whether it's being served from your, that's not loading. One sec, I hope my internet's not just gone off. Let's do the Salford one. Open in browser. There we go. Right, I don't know, it might have been an internet, it might have been a quick glitch that. Right, so what you don't always know is where your meta title is being served from. You'd expect it to be served from your SEO tool, but the best way to find out what it's being served by is to go in here and have a look at what your meta title is first. So this is detailed SEO. Oh, there it is, created by detailed SEO plugin. Can't recommend it enough. That and Screaming Frog. And you could run an SEO agency, except for the on-page side of things, which you can do that with More Leads Local and free audits, which I'll put the link to how that works down below. Right, so we know that this is too long, right? So this is telling me 561 pixels, all right? There'd probably be something else in there about page titles if I spend a bit of time looking for it. But I won't, because this will fix all of those problems. So what we do is we go into the page. I'm going to click edit magic page, and what I'm going to do is look for those shortcodes, because we're in magic page, we're not in a normal website. So it could be being fed from here. Okay, it could be being fed from here, and it could be being fed from, have we got the magic page plugin SEO titles? Oh, it could be being fed from here. Okay, so we've got tons of these bloody things trying to feed our thing. So what I'd do is I'd change one of them. I'd go in here and I'd go fencing quotes. Right, because we're on a magic page, this makes it super simple, because we're going to edit hundreds of pages all at once. And we're probably going to get rid of the country tag there, and then we're going to get rid of longitude and latitude in there, because I really don't feel that brings any sort of, maybe it did when we first started doing it, but I think everybody copied the idea. Right, so I've changed it there. I've changed it for the old graph. So this is going to say fencing quotes, location, county, region, zip. Yeah. Right, then we're going to scroll up here and we're going to have a quick look, and we're going to say, right, let's edit this one. So this one here has been put in like that. So we're going to drag all that crap out, which is going to, and I'm going to paste that into there. Now I could change this as well, so it's got prime fencing at the end of there. I could also edit this, but I reckon it's going to tell me to edit this later, because it's pulling it from the page. So we'll run through and do that in a moment. Okay, so I'll just stick to the one it's telling me to do. Don't worry about everything else. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do the same here, because now I don't know where it's being fed from. I don't care, I've changed all of them. Okay, I'm going to click update. Okay, then we're going to go back and view page. I thought there was an easy way of viewing page, but I honestly can't. It just doesn't seem to be popping up on me today. Doesn't matter, we go back over here. Gets you into the habit of seeing how I do this as well. Right, so now we're opening the Salford page. Next, we're going to go up here and say, right, boom. So inside Salford, it now says fencing quotes Salford, Greater Manchester, Northwest M5.5. You see the ticks come up? Great, it tells us it's right. So if I now go in and right click and click, say Respider, if this disappears, that means we've fixed it. So we click Respider, disappears. Now I know we've got 103 of those errors, right? You want to go do this 103 times? You don't need to, because Magic Page has done it all dynamically. But if you was on a single page website, you'd be doing this on a page by page. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that run back through, so it gets rid of those 103 for me, because then I just feel better about the whole thing. Even though this is training, just makes me feel better. So I'm assuming the next one it's going to tell me about is going to be this meta description, which is absolutely ridiculous. Look how long that is. It's supposed to be 160 characters from memory, and that's way over double, because what it's doing is, I'm pretty sure we've not put a meta description in there, or a proper one, so it's dragging all this content from the page. So if we were to look at this, okay, we're going to want fencing quotes, happy customers, 99% customers who found right fencing company. I'm going to put that in, okay? It doesn't make sense, but I really don't care, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to tell me next. So this is at 90% at the minute, and as we can see, what it's doing is it's about to get rid of these, I believe. We will see. It hasn't. Page titles over. Longer locations. Okay, so we've got longer locations here. So if I open this one in the browser, what you're going to notice, if we click on the detailed SEO, is it's saying this one is too long. Okay, it's saying it's too long because it's over a certain length. Look, length, title, length, and this one's saying 63 characters is fine. I'd listen to Screaming Frog. Screaming Frog is one of the most used top levels, so I would try and remove 3 characters from my meta title. So we'll do it because we should, and we should just follow it and just fix everything. Okay, so I'm just going to take the zip off the end. Okay, so I'm going to go get rid of you. In fact, before I do that, just 1 second, I can take the zip. Meta description, multiple. Right, so we've got multiple meta descriptions. And I'm assuming there'll be a meta description over 155 characters. That's the one I was talking to you about a minute ago that says it's too long, right? So what we'll do first, because I know I've already got it copied and saved, is we're going to scroll down the page. We're going to grab this here. I'm going to delete everything that's in here. And we're going to paste that into there. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a location shortcode because we're on a magic page. And what you'll see, guys, is this is not ranking anywhere. But if we went through and do all this and then just leave it alone, right, it's 134, so I'm happy with that. I want to get rid of, right, let me just do that because it said we had multiple of these. So what I'm going to do, I'm assuming it's feeding it from both places. So we don't want multiple and we don't want the thingies. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that meta description, and hopefully, that probably should have stayed. Hopefully that'll just feed one meta description. So that'll get rid of this bug here, which says meta description multiple, and we've got meta description over 155 characters, right? So we're going to do that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to copy that because it doesn't seem to be feeding multiple H1, so we just use it anywhere because we don't know where it's feeding from. I'm not really bothered as long as it's feeding it one of them and it's the right one that the SERPs are seeing. Okay, so we're getting rid of the zips. We're doing that because we got a ton more. Okay, so now I'm going to click update on the page. I'm going to fly back over here. So we should have page titles over 561 characters for the longer areas, longer named areas. This should have now reduced it to below 60 characters because we take the zip off the end, which takes like 3 to 5 characters off. We've just also got rid of, in my opinion, I believe, meta description duplicates we should have got rid of, and meta description over 986 pixels. That's fucking ridiculous. Right, so now I'm going to go back. In fact, shut that. Refresh that page. Okay, so now when I go up here, what you should see is we've got a nice little meta description. We've got a nice little meta title. Okay, we'll go over to the H that we did before. We've got that. But next, what we want to do is we can re-spider one of them, which is instant. Okay, but this tool's free. You can use it as many times as you want. It uses your computer's RAM. So if it can spider a few hundred pages on your computer without doing anything else, then you can just run it as often as you want. But what you're going to see is the amount of URLs that had the problem. There was hundreds of URLs with problems here before. And what you're going to see is the meta title ones should have now disappeared. The meta description duplicates should have now disappeared, but it looks like we still have some. So I need to figure that out where they're coming in from. Meta description over 986 characters. So maybe it's not changed yet, just like this. Get to 100%. I've just learned something. So normally you put quite short alt text. It says alt text over 100 characters. Apparently that is an issue. I never knew that. I always just tell my guys to try and put the keywords in, use descriptive tags, put keywords in a few of the alt tags anyway on this occasion. So we've got meta title. It's only one of them. Prime fencing. This is the home page. Okay, all right. So I was stressed, but you can see there's only one URL there. Okay. And then you can see page title below 30 characters. That's 4 pages with that. This is, why would that have a page title below? Okay, fencing quotes, pool, Dorset. Okay, maybe I've put these locations in manually and I've not put the information in myself properly when I'm testing and playing, because if I was running it via Magic Page it'd do that. Okay, but as you'll start to see now, refresh this page now, we just you're getting to the point where these things are starting to all turn green. We can't do the canonical on this because we'd have to export to pages, and that means we'd have to do every page individually. So I'd go through first before fixing the canonicals and do all of the other page issues on the magic page. If you're doing a normal website, you just want to do this one page at a time. I probably want to try and get H2 in before the H3. I don't know why they're H3s. They're not bringing any benefit at all being in H3, so I would likely go in, and you could see that there. Sorry, in fact, it's probably, it might show us. You could see, no, it's not. It's just picking up this one now. So there's no benefit to these being H3s because there's no keywords in them. Okay, so those headers there, I would change from H3 to paragraph. Change from H3s to paragraph, and that way the silo structure of the page, you can see it's changing it a little bit because the layout of the page is slightly different for paragraphs to H3s. I'd click update, and just because then when I view the page in a moment, let's just reopen that one, and then let me just put sulfur back in there because that's what we're working on. What you'll see now is if I go and have a look at it, and we look at the H structure, we've got H1, H2. They're so much better for the page. It's just the outline of the page. Look, fencing services, wooden stairs, fence lighting, it's all in your H2s. There's a mad H4 there, fencing gates. I'd probably change that to paragraph, but it's totally up to you. If it's something that's keyword relevant and important, but you want H1s, H2s, and you need some H3s, but you want them keywords ready. But it's just the way the page is structured because we've used Elementor. Anyway, bring you back over here, and what we do is we just carry on. So images over 100 KB, pretty important, okay, because this speeds up, this slows down your website. That one there is an absolute monster. We use a tool, I don't know if it's on this desktop. There it is, boom, WebP Converter. That's on a Mac, it's called WebP Converter. You drag the images in, and it converts them to WebP and shrinks them. It'll probably bring most of these, except for these monster size that are 0.5 MB. This needs taken care of. So you download these, you optimize your images. Seems like we're going a bit too far with it all, guys, but we're not. And especially if a client pays you to go to their website and do this type of work, then this is the sort of thing that you have to sit and do and go through the whole thing. It's not actually that big a job. It might take you a couple of days, may take you a week on a website for a client. But that's why SEOs that undercharge don't actually do a real job. Because all this stuff, they'll ignore it because they know it's super time consuming, it takes ages. But if you're going to do it for a client, okay, if you want to be a client, moreleadslocal.com, you have to get an SEO audit before you can become a client. And then what we can do is we'd go through all of this. Would be the first thing we did before we ever started looking at your content marketing strategy, before we ever started looking at the actual content that was on the page, whether your keyword density and everything else. The first thing we do is we go through and we try and get rid of, we definitely get rid of any of these red issues. Medium, we'd get rid of any of these, definitely. Your low ones, in some occasions, we wouldn't. I mean, look at that. It's telling me you've got multiple H2s. Okay, I'm not going to listen to that because I know multiple H2s is good on a page. Okay? But this is some H2 over 70 characters. I probably wouldn't listen to this. So the ones that say low, I potentially wouldn't listen to always. Okay, it depends. If you can change them, say we've got multiple canonicals there, that I think is super important. Whether the page will use the right one or not, I don't know. So if I was to go over here and click open in browser, I'll just show you a little trick. So how would we find multiple canonicals on here when all these tools only find the first one on the page? So that looks for the canonical, finds it, and does that, right? So if I go right click, view page source, command and F on my computer, canonical, oops, I can't spell, but you know, canonical, right? So canonical there, look, that's the one that's the broken one, okay? Which I would probably change to primefencing.co.uk, boom, done, right? The other canonical URL is further down the page, which is the canonical that the Magic Page plugin is bringing in. Look at which one that brings in for us. That's bringing primefencing.co.uk/quotes/Salford. Now, I would hope that Google is smart enough to say, all right, well, this is the right canonical. So this is what we're expecting to see. Because that's higher up the page, you don't know that. So in most cases, I would export to posts and pages just because of this canonical issue. And then what I would do if I had to keep that SEO, all-in-one SEO plugin title. We use Zagio on a lot of our sites, xagio.net, and the reason we do that is it works perfectly with Magic Page. Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant from this training. So basically what you want to do, guys, install Screaming Frog. Okay, it does 500 pages completely free of charge. Run the SEO audit. As you're starting to do the things and making the changes, you can right click. Once you clicked on here, you can right click and you can respider it. When I respider, it will disappear if it's been fixed, right? If it's not been fixed, it won't disappear. And then you can respider the whole domain, and it will keep giving you all of your edits until these things are gone. The rest of this stuff, okay, site structure and things like that, I would potentially use the Descript plugin because it's better to look at. But yeah, there's not much else. If you've got decent, like on here, it's free. Okay, this is free. I don't know if you can connect these on a non-premium account. I normally connect Ahrefs if it's one of my sites. I'll connect PageSpeed Insights, which is free, Google Search Console, which is free, Google Analytics 4, which is free. So you'd end up with all these reports. But to be honest, using the tools as they're supposed to be is much easier than using them inside of here. But what this tool is absolutely brilliant for is that initial technical SEO audit of the website that enables you to go through and do a free on-page SEO technical audit of any website and fix all of the shit that's wrong with your site without really knowing what you're doing. Okay guys, I hope that helps. I will create more videos like this. I will stick them on mikeseo.com, so save it in your browser, stick it somewhere. The training is all going to go on there going forward, as well as the YouTube channel, but the actual SEO stuff will be on mikeseo.com, so it'll make it a lot easier for you to just go over to my website and start. And it won't be, none of the past shit's gonna get put on there. I'm only going to put it on going forward. So things from future that's up to date, that's relevant, you will see, and there's dates on every single post that I'm putting on there. And the reason I'm doing that is you can see, okay, he did this in 2021, so maybe it's out of date now, maybe it's not. He did this in 2023, and so on and so forth. It'll never be 2021 because I only started doing the new thing for you guys, so you can see when it was done from very recently. Anyway, I'm waffling. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope that really helped you. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next training. Cheers very much. Thanks. Bye bye.